Well,
This is what it's come to.
our final one.
I know. I don't think our people listening, our friends who listen and our
Friends and well-wishers are going to be devastated.
Yes, to know that
There's
this
gonna
is
be-
the final Akmal and Joel. We're
Yes.
finishing on number 30.
We're finishing, despite the protests and the burning and the looting
Yes.
and the desperate sort of actions that people are taking to keep us on the air.
I know. It is sad for a lot of.
Yeah. No, it's not.
No, there's no one.
No one cares.
No one really gives
No
a
one
shit.
cares. Well, they
but,
can-
but I think there's been some people that do care because
Yeah.
look, we started this whole podcast during the whole
The worst
lockdown and everything.
thing,
We're
yeah.
actually going to call this in isolation with Akmal and Joel.
Yes.
And then we it's too complicated. So
Well,
we
no,
just
because people know me. They thought, he's in prison, isolation. Finally, that's what they would have. That's the conclusion they would have come to. But no, we don't want to give that impression.
Yeah, and we had nothing to do then as well, like during that COVID lockdown time.
Yes.
and we thought, why don't we capture our conversations that we naturally
Yes.
have just on
For the
road
ages.
travel. Yes.
So in 500 years, they might find this and go, "This is what it was like."
Yes.
There's
This
no
is
other
what they're
source
like.
that would reflect it so accurately and sensitively
Yeah.
and with humor. But
But there was it was good. We have like about 30 hours,
30 hours.
of conversation
My
between
God.
Akmal and Joel. So if anyone
Yes.
wants to reminisce, they can go back.
my
and-
wife
and-
Kate can do that in half a day. You can actually squeeze it all in. Women talk more than men.
Yes,
I think
that-
they
I would agree with
they're
that.
more expressive. I guess.
Yes.
Men aren't
Yeah,
as
more
expressive.
verbally expressive, whereas
Yes.
guys just sort of shut down and
Well,
and
I shut down, and I love my wife very much, Kate. If you're listening, just you can say the same thing, but just once.
Yeah.
You don't have to express it 20 different ways.
right.
Because I don't have the concentration.
But do you feel that the reason why?
Because I'm an idiot?
No, because they don't feel heard, so they figure, all right, well, I expressed it in that way, so I'll try this way, I'll try that way,
Maybe it's that glazed look I give her, like hurry up.
Yeah,
Get to the end. Sometimes she really hates this when she's talking about something important, and I give her the wind-up thing.
Oh, really? You
I go,
do that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like quickly. It's not because I'm being rude. It's just
It's like she's outpouring of her emotions, and you're
I'm
like,
going,
come
wrap
on,
it up. Come on, get to the
Come on.
point.
Come on.
Is there a point to any of this?
snap.
See, it's not. I don't mean to be rude or nasty or unsupportive, but I got a very limited concentration span.
Yeah.
Due to many things I won't go
Yes.
into now. But
Yeah.
I'm good for 40 seconds.
But I've sensed that when you and I have had conversations, like when we're on the road,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even when we're on the phone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I sense that I can tell the Saleh
Out of body
distraction.
experience,
Yes,
yes.
when Saleh drifts, and that's why I think, all right, let's wrap this one up.
See, I have an out-of-body experience sometimes when Kate's talking to me, but she has an out-of-body experience when we're making love. I'm pretty sure that she doesn't have the concentration when it comes to... No, but, I'm good for like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
No matter how interesting the topic is or
Yeah.
how intriguing or whatever. After that, once she'll be talking, once we get past that 40-second mark, my brain comes in and says, come on, man, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere nicer. Yes. But
But do you try do you like express that you're listening?
I pretend, you mean?
Yeah. Like, do you express? Like, do you give words of affirmation to what you're hearing? And
But because I stopped listeing, I don't want to give the wrong oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Because she might have said, my dad just died. Oh, that's great.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Anyway, what's wrap it up.
See, my problem is I always try and find solutions. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always come
Yes.
back with like, all right, well, here's the problem, here's the solution, and that'll lead to that. But then that doesn't go down well.
Man, that is so common.
Yeah.
Humans are the same, pretty much, just different sort of outer shell, but
Yes.
they all behave the same. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. She'll tell me something that's upsetting her, and then I'll give her a potential
Solution, yeah.
She'll say, "I don't want a solution."
Yeah, I just want you to listen. Yeah,
Well,
okay.
all right.
I know, but logically
That
you
makes
think,
no
hang
sense.
on, but then what? You're stuck in a...
You want me to just shut up?
You're stuck in a hole. It's like, well,
Yes.
just listen to me. It's like, well, no, let's figure out a way to climb out of this. Where's a rope? Where's
No,
where-
women don't do that.
Yeah.
That's why they're more like we were the hunters and they were the gatherers.
That's
So
true.
we don't got no time
Yeah.
to sit and chat and
No.
have a lot of detail.
No.
They're very observant, you see,
Mhm.
because evolutionarily Is that the word?
Yeah.
Speaking.
Evolution-wise. Yeah,
Evolution-wise,
Yeah.
they had to sit and watch the plants grow and look at the details
Yeah.
and the seasons. And
They got
were
the time to.
And men would
attention
just
to
go
detail.
and just have a big outlook. And where's let's get that buffalo.
Yeah.
That's buffalo.
Yeah,
We'll eat it
yeah.
and eat it. And so
It's a lot more practical.
a lot more immediate. You
Yeah,
know, you
yeah.
want it immediately. That's why she'll say, I say, where's the whatever, the sauce or whatever, and she'll say it's in the fridge. And I'll look in the fridge and I can't see it.
Yeah.
And I can't see it. I go, I can't see it. And she'll go, look there. That's her voice exactly. And that's common with men. You know, they don't see the small detail because they're wanting to hunt.
Yes.
What hunts they are.
Yes.
Men.
A pack of hunts.
Pack of hunts.
But they want results too. They want to see a result to if there's a if there's a problem well, it's there to be solved.
I'll solve it.
Yeah.
What was that when Vanilla Ice? But who's Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice.
If there's a problem, I'll solve it. Something revolve it.
Oh yeah.
You remember him?
I remember him
Vaguely.
I saw him in an airport once in the States.
Yeah, working at the counter.
Yeah. Serving Krispy Kremes.
Krispy Kreme
Yeah.
guy. No, but look, speaking on a more serious note, I think this is our final show.
This is. We haven't discussed this because you turned up today and you said, "How you doing? And I said, "Let's just get straight into this podcast."
No,
and
look,
no preamble like before the podcast.
But there's a great George Harrison song. It says, "All things must pass."
You know what? I've been learning that on the. Well, I kind of knew it, but I been playing that on the guitar, and it's.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my mate Steve about it the other day. It becomes like this hypnotic kind of you feel good playing it.
Yeah,
It's like this kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. He picked just a wonderful chord progression on that song.
As opposed to learning, say, Ozzy Osbourne progressions.
Yeah.
Make you feel like I need
some
to
Black
stab
Sabbath,
someone.
Yeah.
No, but
he's and I've also been working on My Sweet Lord.
Yeah.
And now, have you had this? The B. I've never been good at the B chord, so I go way up to like the 7th fret and try, or beyond the 7th fret, and try and do the B chord as a bar chord.
Yeah.
But doing it on the 3rd fret and then just using the. It's like I got so frustrated
but
the
you
other day.
got nice slender fingers.
No, it was hard because.
But look, you got long fingers. I got like sausage, German sausage-sized fingers.
You got Billy Joel fingers,
and I can do it. Yeah.
But can you do the B chord?
Yeah. It's practice.
Not B minor. I'm not talking
not B minor.
I'm talking the B chord.
Oh, the B, the big B.
Which is it's difficult to get a clean sound. But here's the thing, and this is a philosophy for life. You stick with it. You get through the frustration every day, just a little bit more. And it comes together.
It's very, very motivational. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very true as well.
Yes.
My sweet Lord.
But yes, all things must pass.
All things must pass.
Beautiful. One of my favorite George Harrison songs, which he actually recorded for the Beatles.
And they rejected it. Fucking idiots. What do they know about music?
And if you listen to the anthology, which is him on an electric guitar playing it, just him and his voice, there's no other instruments. That to me is the stripped down version is one of my favorite versions.
One of the greatest rock tunes of all time, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yes.
He took that to them and went, no, we don't like it.
Yeah.
We don't like it. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
And then so he got Eric Clapton to play on it.
Yeah. But was that on the White Album?
It was on the White Album.
Yeah,
it was on the White Album, but they rejected it.
Yeah,
and then when
silly.
he recorded, they went, "Oh, maybe we should include it." Yeah,
Silly.
It's pretty good. It's
Yeah,
better than anybody.
George was the silent achiever.
He was good.
of the
He was of all the Beatles, he's the one I would have liked to have spent time with
Yes.
and think he would have been pleasant. But anyway, speaking of all things must pass, apart from this podcast, which is ending today,
Yes. And should we say why it's ending?
because I have a terminal illness. No, I'm dying. No. I was going to mention the fact that we've lost a brother.
I was just thinking of that beforehand too. This year,
a fallen colleague.
Yeah.
And a nice guy, and very young as well.
And a very funny comic. I always loved watching him work. We're talking, of course, of Dave
Jory.
Jory.
Dave Jory, who's a very prominent member of the comedy community.
Yes.
Is no more in this physical form that we know of, so it's hard for him to get gigs now because he's on a different level, different form. But you think like life is so unfair. Like I can think of 10 comedians that I would like to be dead.
Yeah.
That I would like to see die.
Yeah.
Right.
And why Dave?
Why Dave, the nice guy?
So
there are 10 comedians, and I'm sure I'd be on the top of a lot of people's lists. But I got a list of 10 people that I think are useless, and if we lost them,
it wouldn't be.
No one would miss them.
Yeah.
And in fact, it would be beneficial for the world if they went away. But they keep hanging around and doing their thing and, annoying people. Because, life is unpredictable. It's random.
It is. It is. But I would wake up and, like, some nights I woke up, like, earlier this year in the middle of the night, thinking of Dave.
Yeah.
And just that sense of unknown, and it really got to, like, it was very disturbing.
Well, he's like 46. He's 46.
But he...
Or 45, whatever it was. But he's got a child, and he's a lovely
and his
man.
lovely wife.
Lovely wife.
And the thing is, though, because I spoke to him, this past year, I've been, keeping contact and talking to him on the phone, and he would still, even with what he was going through, and he would be there in the hospital getting chemo, still made me laugh. Like, he's still like, he was always one of those guys that I genuinely found funny. Just riffing, talking on the phone. He was always a very. But
if you could choose who dies next, say someone someone from the comedy world is going to die.
Yeah.
And who that is determined by you.
Yeah.
Who would you pick?
I'm not saying.
No, but if you had to.
No, I'm not.
No, if you had to, like, someone.
I'll tell you after.
Tell me now.
Well, you got a top 10 list. Who's in that top 10 list?
There's a few people that, and I'm sure that they would agree.
Yeah.
If they really were honest with themselves, say, I'm a waste of space. I could easily go.
You really wouldn't wish them to die. But,
No.
But in place of Dave, then I understand.
Not even in place of Dave. No? People will die, right?
Yes.
There's someone next. We should, there's Mick Malloy, who I really love as a comedian. He on his show, he has a sweepstake about who's going to die next.
Yeah.
So he's got Rupert Murdoch. Offering and people bet on it.
Yeah.
For real. And who would you think?
What about you had that bloody Facebook page they made up?
But they wanted to kill me.
Yeah, how to kill
That was
Akmal.
different.
Yeah.
It's different to predicting.
Oh, predicting.
They're
right,
just encouraging.
Yeah.
It's different. That's a crime. You can predict, but you can't encourage. This guy wanted me dead so badly. And the police were involved. I was on the radio at the time.
I remember on Nova.
And people would ring up and go, do you know there's a page of someone wanting to kill Akmal?
What?
And and people are, people who hate me, apparently there are a few, and they would make suggestions. I think he should have his eyeballs boiled, or his face
while he's still alive,
his tongue ripped out. Yeah, all these torture stuff, and it fucking freaked me out. What did I do? Well, you must have seen a really bad show of mine to invoke that kind of.
Oh, was this people listening on the radio? It came out when you were doing Nova.
Yeah, I was doing Nova, and they must have really hated the show. Man, he deserves to die. Forget all the criminals and the rapists and the murderers. Akmal has told he's not funny.
Yeah.
He must die. It's brutal. It's a brutal world. It's a brutal world.
It is.
And so yes, that's the thing is, every time we lose someone, we've lost Haskell, we've lost a few people.
Dave Grant,
a few comedians, a few soldiers.
Dixter.
The Dixter's gone. Yes, so it's unpredictable, and women. No female comedians have died.
No, they haven't.
No, they live long.
Well, they live longer. Yeah, women
longer,
statistically do live longer than men.
That's great. That's fantastic. I'm very happy for the ladies that they would live. And as I say, you can't. If you could choose, though, let's go back to this.
Yeah, let's go back to this.
If you could choose,
like how throughout this podcast, you've always tried to catch me out on things.
No, not at all. No. Look, I'll give you a list.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know.
Now let's not do this.
Let's not do this
because it's too. I don't want to be saying.
I'll give you the list after.
Okay, give me the list after.
But it's not going to happen. No, God is not going to say here.
All right,
it's your responsibility.
To Saleh on this one.
Whoever dies next in the comedy world,
you are responsible for.
You can choose.
Yeah.
And it would be difficult, But
it would be.
Oh, there's a few people. Look, I'd say.
No, let's not. I
won't mention anything.
Okay,
but what would be the most difficult part of that? If God says to me, you can pick one.
Yeah.
The most difficult part of that would be say only one.
Yeah.
I can't. It's unfair. If you give me three, then
you're like, give me one gig. Where and I'll turn it into a gala.
Yeah.
And then they'll all.
If they're at a gala and a plane hits, because then more people are dying, and also no. But just the stage falls.
Yeah.
So the
But
audience are
they'll
safe.
all have to be. So it'd have to be like the curtain call. Where
Yeah,
they all come on
you make
stage.
sure they all come out with a big curtain call, all 10, 12
Yeah.
of them.
And are you organising this gig?
Well, it's maybe a bit suspicious if I'm
And
organising
then
it.
you just happen to not be there.
No.
Yeah, but you could be back announcing everyone coming on. Please welcome, and then they all go, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to go on stage. So look what happened.
I'm in the safe zone.
Yeah.
The safe zone where, if God has given me, if God exists,
Yes.
if there is the thing called
Yes.
God, which I doubt, but
Yes.
if there is, hypothetically, he would keep me safe.
Yes.
Because,
Now-
maybe it's a trick.
Now,
God tricks. Remember that?
Yeah, he likes to play pranks.
He likes to play pranks.
Yeah.
I'll kill your son.
Yeah.
Really?
No. Come on, Abraham.
I just needed a good laugh. I'll go and kill him then. I'm kidding again. Isaac would have shit himself.
Yeah, I know. He's like, who does this? What
fuck's
sort
this
of
about,
joke?
Dad?
What sort of prankster is this?
Are you sure it's God or just someone
Is this
whispering?
a voice in your head?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it was early schizophrenia.
It could have been. But speaking of God, you mentioned to me on the phone the other week, because we've been a few weeks now where we haven't done a podcast. By the way.
Yes, because,
we missed out. So sorry to everyone that may have tuned in to listen. And,
I'm sure your life can now resume.
Yes.
Yes.
But we did a podcast recording a few weeks ago where you were very critical of the church and the Coptic.
Yes.
Now, you had some family members that listened to that podcast.
Yes.
And there's been somewhat of a rebuttal to that.
So you're going to get me in trouble again. I heard this through other people who mentioned, because the people who were offended were so offended that they couldn't even tell me that they were offended. They told others, and these others told me.
Yes. And now they're listeners. They listen to this podcast.
They listen. They want to be offended.
Yeah.
We're like Alan Jones.
Yes.
We're just upsetting people, except he's gone.
Yeah.
And we're going soon.
He's on Sky News now.
Is he?
Yeah, Alan. Yeah.
Man, why couldn't
he's reiterating Giuliani's messages and
Dave Jory's gone, and this fucking dick is still around.
Yeah, I know.
Life is just not fair.
Yeah.
And so people got upset because, look, they don't get upset because of any rational reason. There's no reason to get upset by anything I said, because God can kind of defend himself. He don't need you, you nobody, to kind of go, I got to stand up for God.
Yeah.
Get fucked. You're a nobody, right?
Yeah.
But it's fear. People are scared. Life.
But what was the feedback though?
Not very positive, very negative, very hateful. I'm very hated by a lot of my family because
you're outspoken.
Because I'm outspoken, and I'm not a doctor.
And, but you've been successful in your field.
In
of
my
comedy.
field, which they don't see as a field.
Right.
They see
They
more
don't
of
acknowledge that.
They don't acknowledge that, but at least I've never stolen anything.
No.
Not that I know of. I've never taken anything from
No.
anybody. And I have a member of a family who's that's all he does is rip people off.
And he's a doctor?
Well, he's not anymore, thankfully.
Right. Yes.
He's been discredited.
Yes.
And he used to rip off old ladies. And
now, what does the family think of him now?
he's highly respected.
Really?
And he's they still call him doctor.
Really?
To this day.
It's like president.
It's like, you never lose that.
Wow.
But if you get impeached, you should lose that title, right?
Yes.
Fairly. He used to rip the old ladies off, the old Coptic ladies, by selling them tea and telling them that this cures anything, whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And he'd put up the price. And he's a friend of my mum's, she said, I can't afford this tea anymore. And I asked him to lower the price, and he said no.
Really?
And this guy is a Christian and, God-fearing fat fuck that he is, right? But he gets the respect.
Right.
And life isn't fair. I don't expect fairness. I don't expect respect. And so last time we said some things like... some rational things, I thought, when you have Holy Communion, you're eating God and drinking his blood.
Yes.
You're eating his flesh.
Right.
But, as we know, the digestive system is very predictable, and something happens after you digest the body and blood of Christ. What does it become?
Yes.
And And that
you were just thinking that this was like a premise you were running with.
It's just it's a reasonable question.
Yeah, and
what happens to that?
And their response was,
"We want to kill you, you devil.
We want to set up a new Facebook account.
You're satanic."
Yeah,
I've been called satanic before.
Yeah, wow.
Oh man, but
Oh,
you know,
well,
it's the hypocrisy that kills me. It's,
Well, but at least this podcast has instigated, some, discussion and some,
yes,
some.
it's more therapy, really,
Yeah,
for
therapeutic
me
response.
mostly. You haven't shared anything.
I've shared things.
Have
Come
you?
on, throughout, let's go way back.
But you're very careful. You're very careful, and that's where we differ. Joel is very, controlled and what's the word?
Considered.
Considered everything he
That-
says.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
I'm the
know if
opposite.
yeah.
I vomit.
Yeah,
I come here
No,
and
but
I
that's
vomit.
what we love about Saleh. Saleh just lets it all out, and
Yeah.
Saleh gets himself into big trouble
With the Coptic community.
But it doesn't. Even on stage, you've got into trouble before with letting it. Letting everything out. But that's what that's what we love about Saleh.
You do, but because you enjoy you're a sadist. You enjoy watching me get pummeled. But look, I think upsetting people is not always a negative thing.
Right.
Upsetting the right people. Was it John Lewis who died? It was a civil rights activist
Yep.
who said getting into trouble is not always a bad thing. Good trouble. There's good trouble and good provocation that leads to something positive.
Yeah, sure.
So
sure.
I'm upsetting these hypocrites and liars and
Which should result in a positive outcome.
well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, we've had a good laugh.
We have.
You know what I mean?
And it's made for some interesting listening.
That's right. And
Yeah.
hey, come on, life is short.
Yeah.
What's the point of life if you can't make fun of a fat fuck doctor
Hypocrite.
who's
Yeah.
been deregistered and ripped a lot of people off?
Yeah.
Why can't you do that? And
Sure.
and that's fine, isn't it?
Sure, why not?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I think so. I think if you're going to do... You should be able to say what you want, but you got to be accountable. And I don't think you should be able to do what you want. But if you do things, then
Do?
you do. If you do things, you
Yes.
should be accountable. So you're
right.
holding him accountable with your judgments and comments.
Yeah, but then people say, "Who the fuck are you? He's a doctor." Well, he's not, but
Well,
we
no.
still call him doctor.
Yeah.
And you're a nobody. And what gives you the right?
Yeah.
Well, I have this
We're all
podcast.
kind of nobodies at the end of the day, though.
Yeah,
You know,
man. Just ask Dave.
Yeah.
We're all destined
Yeah. Yeah.
to evaporate. But
That's true.
But we at least get this opportunity.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've had an opportunity to gig of late, get
Yes,
back on stage. Tell
yes.
us about that.
Well-
You gigged at the Comedy Store just recently.
Oh, yes, it was probably my first ever good gig this year.
You've had good gigs this
Yeah,
year.
I've had alright gigs, but I've had like short stints and galas and like.
No, your gigs in Adelaide, you had some really good
this
gigs
year.
then.
That was this year,
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
it? I
this year.
forget.
Yeah.
Because it seemed so normal.
Yeah.
January, February, March was perfect for us.
Yes.
And you were in Adelaide as
Yep,
well, and
yep.
you were ready to go to Melbourne. And then life just was put on pause for whatever reason. See, you can't,
But tell us about the gig at the Comedy Store.
Yes, well, the Comedy Store is one of my favourite gigs. And
Perfectly set up, the Sydney Comedy
Yeah.
Store, perfectly set up for comedy. It was designed for
and it
comedy.
was, they said, it's restricted numbers,
Yeah.
but it was almost full. It didn't look restricted
Really?
at all. So they're probably dubbing them in now. Probably gonna,
They're gonna
Comedy
have
Store
marshals.
closes down.
Yeah. COVID marshals are going to be
Yeah, due to
visiting.
Akmal, you have them hating me, the cops and the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
But no, it was fantastic. I'm very privileged to be able to get out and just. It's very healing, Like I don't care about the money. I honestly,
Yeah.
the money's good, but
Yeah, sure.
but if it didn't exist, I would still be
Still
as
want to do
excited.
it, yeah.
And that's a good thing. Very few people can say that about their chosen professions.
It's true. It's
Most
true.
people are just waiting to retire
Yeah.
and not have to do it anymore. Where
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how many more gigs have I got left in me?
You got plenty, Saleh. Saleh, the fire's still strong
Well, you
within
don't know,
Saleh.
you don't know.
The force is still strong.
Well, could just a piano could fall on me.
Okay. I thought you mean in terms of how many gigs, like in terms of you wanting to
you
do.
don't know.
but-
You know how many. You can't predict how many days. You
Yeah.
always think. That whole cliche about Oprah taught me this. Live every day if it's your last. Like if it's my last, I'd be
Max
just
in your
crying.
credit card. Yeah.
I'd be like, fuck, I'm dying tomorrow. Every day I'll do this. Every day. Fucking Oprah ruined my life. No, but it's yes, it was a great gig because it's just you know what it's like. All gigs are different, and some gigs occasionally you just get this
Just
way.
everything gels. You connect with the crowd.
And the crowd connect with themselves, so this is like united.
Yes,
clunk.
when there's unity. Yeah,
There's unity. It was just amazing, and
Yeah.
and a good gig is when you've only done half your act,
Yes.
half of the material you intended
You've
to,
planned-
and the light is
yes.
flashing.
Yep,
your
yep.
time is up.
Yep.
Imagine if that life was like that. When once you get the red light, your time's up.
Your time.
That's
out.
it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you were funny, but time to go.
Yeah.
You know, your number's up. Your number's up. You should like a lotto.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be in the future. Powerball. Oh,
But we're probably going to live a lot longer in the future, though. So it'll be a lot less,
Maybe.
medically wise. We're already living a lot longer now than we did, you know.
So you want to
But
live a long life? You want to
I want to live a good life.
a good life?
Yeah. So if it's not long, if it's
long as
good,
it's-
if it's
yeah.
good, it's all right. I'm all right with that.
But it's such a stupid. Like if God is all powerful and all knowing, and this is the best He can come up with. This system where you just live 70, 80 years, and
But then there's a theory though that we give, we have choice, which I know we've had this
no
discussion on
choice,
another
no
podcast.
choice.
So
you know,
we're
you
given-
said that because you have no choice.
because we have free
Will?
free reign to
Free
so-
reign.
So, it's like okay, you guys live your life. If God is out there, that's what He's or it is thinking. You guys can live the lives you want to live, and then we'll figure it out when it comes to the end.
The end. No.
But I think though,
yes.
I think that I like to think that we go on, and getting back to George Harrison,
Yeah.
he was talking about that, and he's talking about John Lennon's death.
Yes.
And he says, he's just moved on, to another.
Yes, we saw the news, George. He has moved on.
Yeah,
Yes.
like he's, and maybe I'll see him, one
Maybe he's
day.
got a different body, hopefully
Yeah.
with less holes in it in his head. But I don't know about that. I don't know. I think people are hardwired to want to live at any cost. Like it's the most
To hold on, you mean?
to hold on at any cost. Like even people who just go, I don't care about life. I want to die. Whatever. I'm sick. If someone attacks you with a knife, you'll do everything.
Yeah.
You'll do everything in your power to survive because you're programmed that way. And so,
Although when George was suffering from cancer and that guy broke into his house and started stabbing him,
Yeah, he
to
fought
kill him-
back.
No, he didn't. He went to a point where, because in the Buddhist and the Krishna belief, it's like having a peaceful transition or a calm transition
is important.
is important into the next life. So he started chanting Hare Krishna as the guy's step, because he was so weak, And I remember when seeing that in the documentary, the Martin Scorsese one, he was his wife was talking about that too. And I was so enraged, Here we have George but the wife went and got a
like an axe or
lampshade,
Lampshade.
a lamp actually,
Yeah.
and started smashing the guy over the head with it and saved
Man,
George's life.
people overreact when you turn them down for an autograph.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
get carried
Do people
away.
still ask for autographs?
Well, if it's George Harrison,
Oh yeah.
that'd be worth.
But photos nowadays, everyone wants a photo.
No, but if you had his signature on a guitar, like
Oh,
now,
yeah.
that'd be worth a bit.
Yeah, it would.
You know, Akmal Saleh's signature on a coaster.
Yeah. On a receipt.
In the
Yeah.
bin. In the bin you
Yeah.
go, where you belong. But no,
I don't think I ever got your autograph, even when I was younger. I don't think.
No,
I-
I've never asked.
yeah.
Look, I don't value autographs.
But
so-
I would value an autograph though over a photo. Would you not?
Look, there are people who make money in America. When I went to do the Montreal, there
Yeah.
are people who are waiting in like the outside the green room or
Mm-hmm.
outside the backstage with autograph books.
Yeah.
Because they hope that one day one of these comedians will die
Yeah.
a horrible death, and then it'll be worth a lot of money.
Sure.
I'm sure that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you another question too about gigs. You had a gig in Windsor the other week.
Yes.
How was that? Was that good fun?
That was hard work. Because,
Was it?
yeah, you could see the bistro from the stage.
I know that one.
I want to work. My dream is to get to a point where I don't have to wait for the bistro
Yeah.
to shut down
Yeah.
before I get into my act. So it's
Yeah.
all
Gives you some material out of work off.
yeah,
like
up to a
the thing.
point.
Yeah.
Fuck, he's talking about the bistro again. Just do
You
your
know
act.
what? When I was there doing a sound check last year, suddenly the things that I hear, whoop, 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 the alarm's going off.
Yeah.
I see a lady run to the bistro yelling out something, everyone dropping their food and running out of the bistro. And then the sound guys took off, and I turned to Arj and I'm like, I think we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And so we took off and went outside. And the kitchen was on fire. The bloody and so all the fire brigade turned up. Everyone had to evacuate.
Right,
we were
right.
doing sound check for this gig.
I thought maybe someone had seen Arj's act. Let's get out of here. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. If you listen to this, I'm joking. All right.
You know he's not going to be happy.
I know.
No, but he and I went and got dinner. We came back, and the gig started like maybe an hour later.
Oh yeah, and everything was.
But
it was grilled.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
was
yeah.
grilled,
But,
including the waiters.
But I took photos. There was bloody, all the fire trucks. There was like 4 fire trucks turned up.
Yeah.
We couldn't go out because our car got jammed in. So, we just.
Did you do the gig?
Yeah, we did the gig. Yeah, it was fine.
yeah.
Although a lady came up to me afterwards and said,
You could have waited till the fire went out.
There was some like reference that I made to, I don't know, some suburb.
Yeah.
And she comes out, how dare you say that about that suburb? And it was like, what was just like some throwaway line or something. There's people that actually, families that live in that, and she was going off at
You
me.
should have said, you call that living?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
a shithole. You should get out.
But she said, I want to make a complaint about you. And I said, go ahead, make a complaint. Like it's like, and I actually said to her, I said, I see that you're upset. I said, I don't feel that it's actually what I said that's upsetting you. There's something else that's upsetting you, but you got every right to be upset about it.
Yeah.
She got more upset with that.
Really?
But at the end, I just ended up saying, look, I said, just because you're offended doesn't necessarily mean you're right. And I just left it at that.
Yeah.
And she was like,
I would have handled that very differently.
But then secure. What would you want?
You fucking idiot! Fuck off, idiot! Who asked you?
Yeah,
Don't come to my shows anymore.
But here's the thing: I could tell that there was something that
Wrong.
other than that. So it was like,
There always
all right,
is.
I'll talk. But then security ended up coming along and saying, "Listen, you're gonna have to leave. You can't." And she's like, "No, what?" And then she started, and then Arj said something. She started going off at Arj, and then it was like, she just wasn't well,
You just gotta go.
Yeah,
Don't engage them.
I know, but I felt for her. I thought I'll try and
Yeah, you say, no, sorry, did I mention that? I meant another suburb.
I was gonna get like sort of smart ass about it, but then I thought, I just want to level. But then I realized whatever I say is not gonna work.
You know what I think? I got a theory on that because you've had that a few times.
Yeah.
You've had a few people come up to you and say, with really very innocuous material.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he was well hung. Or,
Yeah.
You've had that a few times.
Yes.
And I think they fancy you. It's always women.
Oh, really? Yes.
You
yes,
notice?
That's true.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
Saleh knows.
Saleh's got the
Right?
insights.
They've never come to me. They just talk about me behind my back. I'm glad he's gone. But they come to you to have some kind of interaction. And if it's you remember in primary school when a girl liked you, she'd come in and punch you, or you punched her, or whatever. Now it's assault.
Yeah. Well, now you'll be reported. Yeah.
But you know that. Like, Like a girl, if a girl likes you, she'll come in and call you names or throw something at you.
Yeah.
I think that's because you've had that way too many times. For someone whose act is not...
No, it's not offensive.
There's nothing really provocative or upsetting.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. They like you.
Right, okay.
All she needed was a good...
Well, she could have just come over and said, hi, I enjoyed it. And I'll be, hey, thanks, you know.
But you see, that's a well-balanced person.
Yeah.
You see, but a psycho...
Yeah.
Anyone who finds a comedian attractive, there's something wrong with them. No offense to you, but there's something. There's like extremes.
Yeah.
And anyone who's attracted to me, they need to be actually taken away.
So what does that say for Kate?
Exactly. Well, she's a social worker.
She studied psychology. She's a very intelligent lady.
Yeah, it's more of a challenge than a marriage. It's more of a...
She sees you as like the perfect case study.
Yeah, can I do this? Can I do this and succeed?
Yeah.
You know.
And I was going to do that gig with you, but I was doing a gig with Arj that night I was already booked doing a gig the other week when you were doing.
You don't have to explain.
Yes,
I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
But I had a couple of corporates too, corporate gigs, and they were live ones too.
Live, you in there, in front of people.
Yeah, our Dalton House for the CPA.
That may be a thing of the past now.
Wow, I tell you, that gig was really enjoyable.
Good.
I think the COVID sort of has like spread into the
nothing like
field
a pandemic
to bring out some good
audience reactions.
But then I had one the other week up in last Saturday. up in Gosford at the raceway for a meat company, and then I was thinking, I don't know how this is going to go.
Meat company. They make the best audiences.
They were brilliant.
Were they?
Standing ovation at the
Really?
end. I couldn't believe it. I've never. Sally's like, what the fuck?
I've never had a standing ovation. You've had about 4.
But I've never had one at a corporate. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is going on here? It was
Wow.
like, but that was the sort of crowd you could really have a lot of fun with, like
the meat people,
and it got to a point where I was just like, I was shitting on the crowd, like on people in the crowd, and just really going to town, just like just riffing, and they were lapping it up. I couldn't,
It's just
but believe me, I've had some shocking gigs like in the past.
Believe me, I was there for a lot of them. But you've had more standing ovations than any comedian I know.
No.
Well, no. Who can you? You've had one in Adelaide. You had one. You had one recently. You had one in that corporate gig.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Never had a standing ovation. People stand up to leave, gradually, one by one. If you consider that a standing ovation, yes.
No, but for me, I've only ever had. Well, this is the first corporate, but only at my gigs. When they've come to see me, have they given standing ovations?
Well, when they go see other people, it's hard for them to give you a standing ovation. He hasn't shown up, but
no.
This is for Joel, not for you, Ando.
No, but it was really it was nice. It was
that's good. You got a very you make a very sort of deep connection. People like you instantly, and that's important. Woody Allen said.
Same with you. People like you instantly. No. Yeah, they do.
Did you see the website? Did we not discuss this? People wanted me dead. They must love me so much.
I've seen Saleh. I have seen you fucking destroy.
Yeah, but I've seen
I've seen comedians as well. But I've seen you when the audience is clicked with you and you're on your you're on fire. I have seen you destroy audiences.
But that Friday night gig was a really good one, but it was people who know what I do, but I do rub people up the wrong way occasionally, where you come across as their friend from the beginning.
But I do rub people up. They come up and complain to me after the show.
I've already explained that to you. She wanted to have sex with you.
I don't know about that.
She wanted to have sex with you. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you. I know. I know because they don't come to me. Yeah, there's 2 girls come up. Should we mention that?
I think we have before.
We have, but I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I keep bringing it up because of jealousy.
Because of jealousy.
Resentment.
Yeah.
And it's never happened. I've never had a standing ovation, and I've never had 2 hot girls come up and say, let's go party at my place.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
They say different things like, don't touch me. I don't know where you've been.
No, I've seen Saleh. I've seen women after the show be very forward with you. And to Saleh's credit to everyone, he has been declined, respectfully declined.
Yes.
So you've had that. Come on,
look,
what are you talking
even
about?
before I got married, right? And every time, and I'm talking 100% of the time, every time I've gone home with a girl for a one-night stand after a show or whatever, it hasn't happened a lot, but when it has happened, 100% of the time they end up being psycho. Absolutely psycho.
Does that back up your theory that women that are attracted to comedians are psycho? Is that what your thoughts are?
I think that they're attracted to comedians without knowing them. They just watch you on stage.
Right.
It's not like they've developed a relationship over
but
time.
You met Kate though when she hadn't seen you perform.
That's right. No. I'm saying that I'm talking that instant.
Oh, women that are at a gig or see you on TV.
It's like women who want to have sex with strippers because they don't know what that person's like.
Sure.
They just want to have sex with that image.
Yeah.
And so every time they've either gone, what the fuck am I doing here? This one is insane. And as soon as I get to the place, I want to leave. I want to think of ways of escaping.
Remember that night I got on the lift?
But
I don't want to say who the comedian was.
No, I know.
But and
this wasn't involving me.
No. It wasn't not involving you.
It was involving. Should we mention?
No,
we might as well.
No, why?
Because he's not going to come back. He's an American.
Yeah, who lives in England.
He lives in England now.
But we don't want to say her name though.
No, don't say her name.
All right.
There are crazy women that circulate around the comedy scene.
Yeah.
And men too.
Yeah,
occasionally.
and men, sure.
Let's not be sexist, but people.
But this one is a female. Well,
but she's not a comedian. She's someone who just hangs around the peripheral.
No, she was performing it.
Is that what she was doing? I don't know. I don't know if that's the correct title. I think she was annoying, irritating, psycho.
Yeah.
And anyone who's been with her, within 10 seconds, they go, uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
I've got a...
Yeah.
You know, this person is
the
going
siren goes off.
It's a kind of woman that you think, if I go to sleep with you, I might wake up with, severed penis or a punctured eye.
If you wake up.
If I wake up at all.
Yeah.
Right? So she's quite psychotic.
Yeah.
And then we went to the lift. It was during the comedy festival.
Yes.
And quite a nice person.
Yeah.
But obviously was very...
yes.
What's the word?
Desperate?
I didn't want to, but we're not mentioning her name, so yes.
Yeah.
You know, and we had a laugh.
And Arj was on the lift too. It was like we all congregated at the same time for some reason. It was like, oh, okay.
You know when you see a guy go home with a hot woman and you think...
And by the way, this was not Arj that we're talking about.
Yeah, let's say...
There was Arj, Saleh, and Mr. Osborne. Mm-hmm. We were all on the lift with this other person,
yes,
who then got on with this female that we were talking about. Yes.
Now, sometimes, we've all experienced it. After a gig, you see one of lucky single guys go home with a hot chick, and you go, "Oh, he's in for some loving."
Yeah.
In this case, you go, "Oh, he's in for some weird shit. He's gonna call the authorities."
It would be great to actually talk to him and find out what actually
because
happened.
He'll say, "What the fuck? Why didn't
you
warn
me?" Yeah.
Yes, the American accent.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Give away.
But it was not Arj.
Oh my God, he's probably and you notice he hasn't come back to Australia since.
I think he lives in England or something.
I know, but he hasn't come back since.
Yeah,
he's scared. No, he's scared, and you go, "Oh no, you gotta, if only you knew."
Yeah.
But it's best that he learns the lesson by himself.
Yes, it is. It is. Who are we to intervene?
Exactly. Let him learn.
Come on.
Let him learn the hard way.
Yes, exactly.
Next time, go home and have a wank and go to sleep and wake up alone.
Yes.
It's much better.
Easier.
Oh my God. So
no trouble. No trouble. So you're doing the festival next year, right?
Well,
Melbourne,
unless
and
there's
Adelaide.
Unless there's a
catastrophe, another
an earthquake.
The vaccine's been pumped out now.
Yes.
You're
going to take it?
Yeah, I'll take it. I think because I want to travel overseas next year.
So you can't travel unless you...
Qantas won't, apparently I read, Qantas won't take international travellers unless they've been... unless they've had the vaccine.
Jabbed.
Yeah, jabbed.
Well,
Are you going to take it?
Well, I don't really need to.
But here's the thing in Australia, though. We're not getting it till March, and in America, I think they're rolling it out next week.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot more people dying. We've had one of the smallest numbers in the world.
We've been very lucky.
Well, not lucky. We're an island, and it's easier to control.
But
in America,
however, it could have got out of control a lot worse. Remember way back when we were doing the podcast, and there was the situation in Melbourne, 750 cases, 750 cases a day, and we in New South Wales had the outbreak after the Ruby Princess.
Yeah.
And had we have not taken quick, decisive action and had the contact tracing, we could easily be like in Europe or America.
The problem with America is that all the states have different rules, and so some rules. In this state you can have people cross the border. In other states you can't. And so it's pointless.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion.
And there's a lot of people.
Yes.
And there's...
And also too, there is, like speaking to friends in America, and even like Dr. Fauci said, the lockdown that we had here in Australia would never happen in America. The people just wouldn't do it, like to that extent.
Yes.
When
this whole thing began, I was very suspicious, as you know.
We had conversations. Okay, all right. Now I'm interested to hear this because I remember the conspiracy theories were rife.
Yes.
And I was always trying to counter that to give
if
another.
If you're interested, go back and listen.
Yes.
No one's going to back.
Now, after all of this has come forward, what are Saleh's thoughts?
I think the virus is real.
Yes.
That many people just don't die.
No. Because I remember at one point you said the doctors, and I'm like, come on, not every doctor in the world can't be in on this.
No,
right?
Look, 2,500 people a day are dying in America alone. Yeah. That's like a 9/11 every single day.
There was over 3,000 the day before last.
It's really quite terrible, but I think there's still something a bit sus about it. Okay, but hear me out, right? Have I told you about my manager Adi's son? our manager, Arnie's son.
AJ.
Yeah, little
Oh.
kid. He's a little kid who plays footy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the new rules for playing sport, as far as this kid's concerned, is like 10 or something, right? He has to wear a mask. So he can't go to the field unless he's wearing a mask. So if he
Right.
gets out of his dad's car and he's not wearing, can't play.
Okay.
And then so when the game starts, he takes off the mask,
Right.
and there's no handshaking.
Right.
Not allowed to handshake.
Okay.
They're the new rules.
Okay.
But then they start playing and they tackle and they have scrums.
Yeah.
That's inconsistent.
It is.
That is cause for suspicion. Is
Well,
it not?
But I just think it's idiotic. It's like it's like
Well, they're the rules set by scientists.
Well, it's like
apparently.
the other week when I flew up to Brisbane, right?
Yes.
I get on the plane, and Qantas did not enforce it, but they highly recommended everyone wear a mask on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all wearing masks on the plane, right? We get up there, and business as usual, by the way, in Brisbane at the moment.
Do you flew business?
No, what?
Oh no, business.
So I'm walking past like restaurants, bars. Bars are packed.
Well, they are
people
in
all
Sydney
standing
now.
up, but people standing up. They weren't sitting down.
Yeah.
We went to, when we did the show at the Eden's Hill. It was packed.
Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder, theatre row seats.
Yeah, yeah.
No one wearing masks. It's just business as
Yeah,
usual.
yeah, yeah.
Then I get on a plane to come back, and they said, "Oh look, we once again the same announcement I had the day before, flying up to, please everyone wear masks." So many
You know what
people
I
from
think it
Queensland. Like only a quarter of the people bothered wearing masks on the plane.
Yeah,
So you're on the plane, it's gonna circulate around the plane. But then there's all these other restrictions once you land.
Or when you're eating or you're drinking.
So it's just kind of idiotic that, and I'm watching like people on the plane, some people wearing masks, but then they take the mask off and eat. So it's just kind of like
Okay.
there's inconsistencies.
So-
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I just think it's like inconsistencies.
Well, I think it's a conspiracy.
Okay, so what's the conspiracy theory about the football match?
Well, but we're not specifically about the football match, but I think, and this is not my theory, this is someone else's theory, is that they want to turn the human population into machines, right? So basically, they want you to have things, do things remotely, so you're not connected to people. They basically, this is the theory, right? And so if you wear a mask, you're less human, because when you see your face, you connect with that person. If you can't see their face, they become unrecognizable and everyone looks the same. So there's no distinction. You become more of a machine. And then the virus,
Vaccine.
the vaccine is they're going to inject a chip in you. This is just a theory.
What, in the
I
vaccine?
know you're giving
What?
me that look, but let's hear me out to the end.
Okay.
So it's a little chip where they can trace you, like a GPS thing. And
Well, they got a mobile phone, they can trace you.
they can, but not everyone has a mobile phone.
A lot of people have an iPhone.
But you can turn it off if you want to.
Yeah, you can still trace it though.
You can still trace
That's why
it.
drug dealers don't use iPhones.
Well, this is where my argument falls to the ground. I have no way of answering that. But look, this is the theory going around. And when you look at, if something doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, like the football thing, you go, well, what's the point in that? Then you start to go, well, maybe.
But I think a lot of things haven't made, because I think with that it's like, oh, we're ticking off the boxes there, but then when it comes down to it, it's like the football, right?
No, but this is suggestions by supposed scientists who are saying, No,
I think these are government suggestions, right? Saying
No, but this is suggestions by scientists who are advising the government, apparently. Right? How would they know? Right? So we did a gala in Canberra last week, and it was about
how was it? Was it good fun?
great. Yeah, it was really good fun. It was about 800 people, and they had every 12th seat is empty, as if the virus is going to go. Oh shit!
Yeah,
there are gaps.
I know. It's silly.
Ridiculous.
I know, but I think.
But that's what makes people become conspiratorial. Where you go, that's bullshit. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
You got a closed space. It's 800 people.
All I have to say is whatever we've done in Australia, it's had good results.
Yes.
So whatever, it makes sense to me.
Yes.
I just look at the results, and people say, "Oh yeah, but there's less people." But there would have been more people infected had we have not done what we've done in Australia.
Yes.
And Australia, like New South Wales, how they handled the, it's like, I'm not politically aligned, but they did pretty well.
I think the only bad news that's going to come out of this is that Scott Morrison is going to be re-elected, and I think I would rather have got gotten the disease, or got the,
virus.
The coronavirus.
Yeah. That would have less long-term effects.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it'd be far less dangerous,
Yeah.
and you know, and doesn't spread as quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's I don't think it was anything, you know, that he can take credit for. I think
No, I think just a lot of people do, and
we got a lot of space. Look, if you go to New York, right? Look how everyone's so closed. You know,
Yeah,
you go
sure.
to the subway, everyone's in their face.
Sure.
Everyone's face, and even on the street, you can't walk without bumping into someone.
Yeah.
But
But then you take on the flip side, California, where everyone, like LA, everyone drives. There's no one on the streets. There's no one in the public transport, like comparatively.
Yeah.
Yet they're one of the worst states.
That's because they're stoned.
Yeah.
And they're
They're sharing a spliff.
That's
Yeah.
right. No,
Well-
don't worry, man. It's just a conspiracy.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's just funny how people are saying it's conspiracy right up to their death. They were
Yeah.
in the ICU.
Well, that's
going-
when they were having those parties, remember?
Yeah.
A few months ago, the COVID parties where they would invite someone who they say supposedly has COVID to hang out. And then one of the organisers of the party ended up on his deathbed. He goes, I was wrong.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
the last thing he says.
Yeah. So,
Well, no, but look, things are looking up. I think next year is going to be a lot brighter.
Yes.
Already, we're turning the corner. We're turning the corner.
Turning the
Get right
corner.
into a truck.
But I look back on this, like the first podcast that we did way back when, and we were talking about me getting the hand sanitizer and
Yes.
my then fiance Erica and I taking a walk into the city and it being completely desolate, completely empty.
Yeah.
And then you know, the virtual gigs that we did, and
I'm still doing virtual gigs. I don't mind them.
I actually enjoy it.
There's less pressure.
I did one the
because
other
you can't you can't die because no one can hear the
Yeah,
audience
so it doesn't-
anyway.
Yeah, I just act like I'm doing well whenever I do one.
Yeah, and you don't have to wear pants.
No,
as long as the screen is up.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I did one the other day for IBM.
Yeah.
And they were lovely. They were like because I've only done a few where I can see the grid. And just watching them on the grid, and then they put up emojis, so like a laugh emoji or a hand applaud emoji comes up. So just seeing them, and it's like, all right, well that's and you kind of comment on that and riff with that. So I think I don't know if it's because of the COVID or what it is, but audiences, especially with corporate crowds, because you know what, like with corporate crowds, sometimes it can be hit and miss. You can get a crowd that's just not into it.
And forget this is if. People who don't know, this a corporate gig. You usually fly somewhere, and then get a cab, or they pick you up, and then you get at a hotel, you have a shower, you get dressed, and then you go to the venue before the people come in.
Yeah, function center.
And you go, oh look, the seats are too far. Can you bring them close? And they go, they're numbered. We can't do that. All right, can you not serve food
Can
while
they
I'm
not
on
be
stage?
eating? Nah, mate, we got a schedule here.
There's not enough lighting.
Yeah.
There's not enough, and then you do the gig and you're exhausted, and sometimes they're disappointed. So you gotta have breakfast with them at the hotel.
Pressure.
They go, he's the guy that ruined our night.
Pressure.
With this, it's just it's so much
Yeah,
easier.
you're doing it into the laptop.
You don't have to
But
leave
although
your
I
home.
do find, for me, I've been preparing a lot more for those gigs. Like, like knowing... No,
that defeats the purpose.
No, but
you take the fun out of everything. No, I just do my act and try
I do the act, but I try and, like, because some things, like, in your act, you think, I'm just, like, it's just kind of like crowbarring stuff in here. It's like, I got to figure out a segue that makes sense of why I'm doing this material. Like,
no. How's it different from you performing?
Well, it's like... For me, I'm like, on this, it's usually people all over the country. So I talk about, like, welcome everyone from Queensland. It's been a while since I've been back in Queensland. And
Speaking of Queensland.
and then I lead into the Queensland material.
Yeah.
So just kind of working on those kind of little segues and stuff, I think makes a big difference,
Well, maybe, but I'm much. This is the way of the future now. Like, if you have kids, Joel, right, by the time they're your age, this will be. The whole world will be like that. It'll be all virtual. And the difference between virtual and real will be indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Because it won't be a screen like that anymore.
Erica was watching this. I think he's like a.
It'll be like you're actually there.
Right.
And the difference will be.
Yeah. Well, Erica was watching this Japanese American professor talk about what's going to be in 10 years.
Oh, yeah, not the guy with the white hair.
I think he's got
Yeah.
white hair.
He's a cool guy. What's his name?
Have you seen this? When he's talking about what he predicts in 10 years' time. Only 10 years' time. And like the wall.
He's an astrophysicist.
Right. And the wall is going to be like, you communicate with people through, it's like a wallpaper, but it's digitized. And you can watch movies on it, but also you can do like, teleconferencing through it. And so that might be like a gig. So you got the wall of, and the faces.
As good as the real thing.
Yeah.
And so people will be less, they'll be more reluctant to leave home or get a flight or whatever because you don't need to.
But there is something, Saleh, with that human connection that happens in a theatre when people are together in a theatre.
It is now. Yeah. But things will change and the humans will, their DNA will change to accommodate.
I think we're still going to want that sense of community.
Right. I'll meet you in 200 years.
200 years. Yeah.
200 years is not long when you consider.
Yeah.
In 200 years.
No, I'm talking 10 years. Like,
10 years. Wow. I might be here.
Live theatre. Well, hang on. Let's do this. Let's make a pact. Seeing that this is our last podcast.
Yes.
In 10 years' time,
let's
whatever a podcast is then, let's reconnect and talk about where we're at then compared to where we are now.
That's right.
Do you want to do that?
Put on our virtual reality and do it in Paris. And then go home in our jetpacks.
Yeah.
What happened to the jetpacks?
I know. I was relying on that. I thought, when I was...
every show about the future...
Jetsons?
Or the year 2000.
Yeah, remember that show Beyond 2000?
Beyond 2000.
Yeah.
We're going to have jetpacks.
Yeah, where?
Bullshit, no jetpacks. I want my jetpack.
I want my talking computer butler.
Yes.
That comes around. Remember that? It's got the bow tie on.
Yeah. And the dog, little computer dog.
Yeah. Where are all that?
It's coming.
I want the flying car too.
Yeah, the flying car never happened. That's how old I'm getting. There was a show on TV when I was a kid called 1999. And it was about lizard people. Do you remember that?
No.
1999. No, I'm mixing the shows. Sorry.
Are you thinking of Prince's song?
No, there was a show called V. Yeah.
You know what? V was a Channel 10 production, and a guy that used to live down the road from us called Ernie.
Ernie?
It was
Sesame
his name.
Street.
And he was a prop builder for Channel 10. And this is when Channel 10 was out near Ryde. North Ryde.
Yeah.
And it's and they had the V spaceship when I was a kid.
But this it was an American production, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had the V spaceship. I don't know if it was here for promo or whatever.
Yeah.
But they had it outside and I was so fascinated. I remember he promised to take me to see. He never did.
I had a similar experience with the VD clinic.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by how I got this. I won't talk about it now. It's a long time ago. But I remember watching
that show V,
V and 19...
It was popular back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was huge.
But what has that got to do with the future? I thought that was outer space.
I'm sorry, I'm confusing the two. Forget V.
Yeah, okay,
forget everything I said about V.
Yeah.
It was a show called 1999.
Right, okay.
And, I mean, that seemed like such a long way in the future. And they had all the, it was like... Space Age and now we're in 2020.
Yeah, I know. It's weird when you see that.
Years.
It was like when we had when 1999 when it was that remember the bloody Y2K and everything.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, wow, like when I was a kid hearing Prince singing, we're gonna party like it's 1999 and thinking, wow, we're already there. And you know that you're getting old older when you get to those points. And then Billy Joel had a song called 2017. It was a great one of his really good songs.
Yeah, it seems
Seeing the lights go out on Broadway, and I got to 2017 and going, wow, it's here we are. And when I was a kid, I remember hearing that song thinking, that's so far ahead.
But it's already, as I said before, I think everything that's going to happen has already happened. It's just that we're trapped in this time frame.
So everything old is new again.
Everything's news old, and not sure about that, but
but that saying though, everything old is new again, does hold true. When you look at fashion, you look at what we do basically as humans, how we behave.
I'm more of a sort of a fatalist. The older I get, I think everything is already in motion. It's like I'll put it this way. It's like we're a speck in a firework. Fireworks? Fireworks display. It's a big firework. That's the, and you're
that's
just
the
a
universe,
little... Yeah, it's already exploded.
So what are we burning out?
We're burning out, but we're not aware of. It's already happened. The fireworks happened, but you're a tiny,
So is
tiny
the
little.
firework the Big Bang?
Possibly, yeah,
Okay.
let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're a tiny little speck, and through time, in your own little capsule there of time.
Mm-hmm.
From an outsider's perspective, outside of that time frame, it's already happened. But you don't know it's already happened because you're still traveling in that slow.
So is that like looking at like a star?
Yeah, like a star.
It's already burnt out.
It's already burnt
It's
out.
already,
but-
but the light's still traveling.
exactly. So
Well, maybe that's what.
the future is not what it used to be.
That's true.
That's
Yeah, thanks, Grandpa.
Joel's
I've got to get
grandpa.
you a pipe.
I need a pipe. Yes.
And
I'm not on meth. Just in case people listening and thinking that I'm on
Yeah,
the
the
pipe.
pipe,
I'm
yeah.
not on the pipe.
and so that's interesting. So maybe is that what maybe when we die the light shines on
Yes, the light shines on, but
like
but,
a star. The light shines on.
Yes, it
and we all
continues.
shine on.
like the
Moon and the stars and the sun.
Yes.
On and on and on.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe you shot him because of that song.
Instant karma's gonna get you.
No, it's gonna get you,
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
And who's that comedian? You know, when John Lennon was shot in New York. You know, I like comedians generally like darker humor, don't they? Things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would not
yeah,
be
sure.
acceptable.
Yes.
And he said, "I hate New York because there was a guy from New York shot John Lennon. He shot John Lennon when Yoko was just so close. Look how close she was. Why couldn't he? Oh, I hate that. And he can't do that because people get offended.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah. Well, it's like Bill Hicks had that joke. You know, what kind of a world do we live in where John Lennon is assassinated, yet Barry Manilow still releases music? You know?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've heard that in various.
Yeah. That's,
you know,
it is a premise that's
that you know, Aretha Franklin's dead and Justin Bieber's still walking around.
yeah.
Why? That's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same joke.
Same premise. Well, actually, that's the same joke.
Yeah.
Different people, really.
Different thing. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It is.
I wonder if people are interested in this, us dissecting
Comedy jokes. Yeah.
No, you should never dissect it.
Well, you know, I gotta say, Saleh, this has been great. I genuinely mean that. You
Yes,
know,
me too. It's been fun.
and I'm glad that we did decide to do this. Like
Yes.
way back when we were talking on the phone, we didn't have any gigs, we didn't have anything, and we thought, what are we gonna do to get us through this time? We said,
Yes.
well, why don't we just, you know, do a pod? What are we gonna do? Let's just chat like we do.
Let's meet and chat and record it for other people
and
to listen to.
To listen to if they're interested.
If they're not,
and
don't worry about it.
Yeah, and it's been I genuinely, you know, you're one of my best friends. I love
yes,
you.
me
This
too,
has
man.
been
It's-
great
it's-
that we've done this.
It's been fun until the next pandemic.
Well, yeah.
If there's another pandemic, we're going to promise to do another one.
Yeah. Well, and let's definitely do one in 10 years. Whatever form it's in.
Yes.
You know,
Whatever form I'm in.
If we're still
I'm not
shining
being-
in 10 years,
Yes.
If we're still here, let's do one. And I know today we were talking about, you know, things that have happened, things that we've listened to, lyrics in songs, or you know, that have predicted in the future. Well, that's only 10 years away.
10 years, and the older
know,
you get, the quicker it gets. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
still come time, 70.
Yeah. And it's going to be a mega catch up for this podcast in 10 years when we
Yes,
chat, or whatever. If podcasts are still going, I don't know. Maybe we'll be on that big wall, you know, that big digitized wallpaper.
Man, 10 years
and we
is a long time technology-wise.
Well, especially now with exponential growth in 10 years' time, you know, who knows what we're going to be, how we're going to be doing the podcast. But let's do that.
You may not have to go. You just think about it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna after you get the jab,
Yep.
the coronavirus jab, you'll
Yeah.
be able to do, you know, shoot fire through your eyeballs.
Possibly.
You never know.
Possibly.
You never
And
know.
in the meantime, though, before then, I'm going to be doing my own podcast.
Yes.
And you're going to be my first guest on
This
the
is
podcast.
a very good idea, as opposed to
Yes.
this, which is just like a random
Yes.
thought.
Well, should I say the idea?
Yes.
Okay, so this podcast, this has been going around in my head for a very long time, and I'm eventually now going to do it. I invite my guest on. Saleh, you're going to be my first guest.
Thank you very much.
And I ask each guest that I have on, it's a different guest every week, and I have the guest bring a copy of their favorite album, book, and film.
Yes.
And that frameworks album, book, and film, and that frameworks the conversation. So I get insights into each guest that I interview, and
So, you know, and for those listening who are interested in coming on as guests, don't come in, say, with The Godfather, the film, the book, and the album.
Yeah, no.
It gives you nowhere to go. You know, it's silly.
Well, I'm glad that we had that because I know that The Godfather is going to be one of those for you.
No.
I actually I can predict what I'm not gonna say it now.
I'll
but
predict it. I'll tell you.
Taxi Driver, Abbey Road, and in terms of book,
Book.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't read books.
Yeah.
I listen to books.
Well, we'll get back to pamphlet.
Yeah.
But we am I right on those first two?
I mean, it could have been.
Okay, well,
Taxi Driver is
all right,
certainly
well,
a great film. My favorite comedy film of all time, undisputed champion of comedy films, is The Life of Brian.
Yes,
That's
I
a
just
film-
watched that last week.
Did you?
It's great. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
for the first time.
No.
Come on. Hey,
Okay,
what are
come on.
we?
What are you
talking
taking
about
for here?
But it's one of those. You know, you've experienced this yourself, where you watch something you're totally in admiration of, and you think, "I wish I was in it."
Yeah.
Do you ever get that? You
Yeah,
think, "I wish I was involved
part
in
of that. Yeah.
Man, the first time I watched that, I was like, I don't know, teenager maybe, and I thought I would have loved to have been in that film.
Yeah.
And I would say Abbey Road would have to be up there. Abbey Road, one of the old-time
Well,
classics.
all will be revealed on the first episode of my podcast.
I can't wait.
So you'll bring your favorite book, favorite record, favorite film,
Yes.
and the podcast
Favorite-
is called Look, Listen, Laugh.
Look, listen, laugh. That's great.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have that frame.
Yeah.
I look forward to.
And of course, I'm sure we're going to get, like we always do, we're going to go off on tangents. But through each of these...
That's the foundation.
Through each of these things,
Yes.
for me, it gives me and the listener a window and insight into the person I interview.
And how you just speaking to comedians?
I think I'm going to start off with that, but then I think I can take it in other directions. Can have musicians, actors, people I find interesting.
Yes.
You know,
shop
yeah.
fitters.
Yeah, whatever. You know.
Boiler makers.
Yeah, candlestick makers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us how you became a boiler maker.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but I'm going to start off with comedians because
you know them.
Yeah. So that's in the new year. Keep an eye out for that podcast, and
Good luck with that. I think
Yeah.
it's going to go well.
I look forward to doing it with you on the first one. So, for anyone listening, it doesn't have to end here. We can transition into that, and then as we are holding to it, 10 years time, Saleh,
Yes.
I will see you then.
So I hope you don't have COVID.
COVID. No.
Oh, yes. Well, it's been nice to chat, but life will continue.
Yes, all things must pass.
All things must pass eventually. Don't forget that. Yeah, all things must pass water.
And on that note, Akmal and Joel.
It's
That's a
goodbye
wrap.
from us.
That's goodbye from us.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. For those who did listen.
Yes.
For those who didn't,
You watched.
yes, everybody.